All right, everybody, it's time for our next unit. We are going to be talking about body systems. So here's an introduction. The essential question we're going to be answering with this entire unit is how do the body systems work together to help maintain homeostasis? Do you remember what homeostasis is? Well, if you don't, you're about to get a memory refresher by the end of this presentation. First of all, how do we have whole body systems in the first place? Let's check out this video clip and it'll help us get a better understanding.
When you look at the structures that make up a plant or an animal, you can see a hierarchy or organized structure in its body. The body is organized into levels that become increasingly complex, from cells at the most basic level on up through the whole organism itself. Let's take a closer look at the way these levels are organized in plants and animals. The most basic living unit in a plant or animal is the cell. In fact, plants and animals are composed of cells, millions of cells. Both plants and animals have many different types of cells that perform different functions, such as absorbing nutrients or releasing substances such as enzymes. For example, in mammals, epithelial cells lining the stomach secrete fluids that aid in digestion. Smooth muscle cells in the stomach walls contract to mix and propel digested foods through the digestive tract. Plants, too, contain many specialized cells. Palisade cells in the leaf are abundant in chloroplasts, and so they are an important site of photosynthesis. Epidermis cells on the outsides of leaves help protect the internal cell layers from water loss and damage. Groups of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function are organized into tissues. Groups of different tissues that function together form an organ. Organs are grouped together into organ systems, each containing several distinct organs and related structures. Each organ system has a major function, such as digesting food. Plants generally have two organ systems, the root system and the shoot system. The highest level of organization in animals and plants is the organism itself, in which all of the lower levels, cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems, work together to carry out the processes of life.
All right, did you catch all of that? Hopefully you were paying attention. Make sure you fill out the levels of organization on your sheet from the smallest to the cell to the largest. So if you missed the video, you might want to pause this, go back and rewatch it, and fill out your graphic. All right, so now let's talk about what exactly do the body systems do. So here's a snapshot of each system that we're going to be looking at. I know you've talked about some of these in gym as well, or in your health class. Muscular system allows the movement of body parts. Sometimes those movements are on purpose and sometimes those movements are not voluntary, so we'll talk a little bit about some of those differences. The skeletal system supports the body. The respiratory system gathers oxygen and gets rid of carbon dioxide. The cardiovascular system moves blood throughout the entire body. Your digestive system breaks down food into nutrients that your body can use. And your nervous system collects information from all over your body and responds by sending electrical messages. Let's talk a little bit about structure and function. So how certain things are designed and then the function they carry out. So let me give you something to relate to. Check this out. What piece of sports equipment is that? Yeah, it's a football. How is the football structure, its shape, its size, the material it's made of, related to its function? Well, its size is so that it can fit in the hand well. It's made of leather that you can grip. Its shape is so that it can fly through the air very nicely. So a football is designed to play the game of football. Well, what if I said we should play football with this instead? A hockey puck. What kind of problems would that make? A hockey puck is a lot smaller. It's a lot heavier. That would be really difficult. We play football with the specific football because of its structure and therefore its function. So let's look at some of the things in our bodies that help link together structure and function. Let's look at the heart. Frogs, humans, birds, most hearts are of similar shape and size, well, not necessarily size, but they're of similar shape because they all have the function of pumping blood around an entire body. Nerve cells. Nerve cells are long and thin to send messages from cell to cell. So the structure, the way they look, and the function are very much linked together. How do whole body systems work together to create one whole organism? Well, sometimes body systems actually share organs. One example is that the heart. The heart is part of the muscular system because your heart is just one big muscle, and it's a part of the cardiovascular system. That muscle's job is to pump the blood throughout your entire body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If your heart stopped doing that, it's called a cardiac arrest. It means the cardiac muscle in your heart has arrested, which means stopped. Body systems also communicate between each other too. These communications happen between several ways. It could be an electrical message from your nervous system, or even a chemical message through a system called your endocrine system, which makes things like hormones. So that'll be another topic for another day. Remember, all of this is to maintain homeostasis. If you've forgotten what homeostasis is, here's your re-crash course. Homeostasis is when we maintain a constant internal state when outside conditions are changing. Remember, homeo means same, stasis means state. So it's your body wanting to stay in a constant state of sameness. Homeostasis is also responding to change, those automatic responses. So for example, when you get cold, you shiver. Your body automatically responds to the drop in temperature and wants you to warm up. So your muscles start to shake very quickly to try to make movement. Homeostasis is also about maintaining a balance. Anytime the body conditions are changing, it responds right away. However, at times, things can go wrong with homeostasis throughout any of the body systems. Just a few examples are structure and function diseases, like diabetes. Diabetes is a disease when the body cells in the pancreas are not making this product called insulin, and so therefore they're not taking glucose into the blood. So that's just one type of structure disease. Another type could be a pathogen or disease or germs. Tuberculosis is one of these. It's a breathing disease caused by bacteria. It weakens your lungs so you can't take in oxygen very well. Fortunately, lots of different pathogens we actually have immunizations for, so you usually get shots against tuberculosis when you're a baby. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you filled out your notes, and we'll see you next time.